I'm Jake Roselle, and this is my 1959 split window bus. So I've owned this bus for about 4 or 5 years now. There's a big history behind this bus. Tay actually used to own this one a couple of years ago before I owned it, and I was able to purchase off him. So this bus actually used to live on the island 20 years ago or so. My stepdad has a big history with this bus. It used to be one of his best buddies back in high school, and he used to be a big surfer guy, and unfortunately he did pass away in this bus, and it got handed around to many people and actually ended up in a scrapyard somewhere, I think in Mission, which would be in Vancouver there in BC, Canada. It was about to get crushed, and one of our good buddies actually saw it on its way heading there and saved it and was able to bring it to life before it got crushed. It was quite rough. It used to be purple and black. Originally it was a mango colored bus. Unfortunately the owner before that stripped all of the original paint and painted it black and purple. It was honestly probably one of the worst color choices I've ever seen someone paint a bus, and there was no original paint underneath it, unfortunately. That bus sat in, I think, Abbotsford for a couple years, and it went through a couple more owners, and lo and behold, my stepdad, Tom, got a hold of it and figured out the history that this used to be the bus of his best friend back in high school. So there's a lot of kind of sentimental value to this through our family, especially through Tom there. Over the years, Tom didn't do much with it, and my best friend Taylor there, he actually acquired this bus and was gonna build it. He got a little bit deeper into it, decided this wasn't his gig, and he gave me the option to buy this bus. To be honest, it was quite a solid bus when I purchased it compared to most of the ones that you see on the Samba site and out there in this world. Tay was a huge homie, and he actually gave it to me for a relatively good price, and he just wanted to see me get into the split window, world. I've always dreamed of having one of these. I was raised in a split window bus through my dad and my mom. I was pushed through every Victoria Volkswagen Club parade in a stroller. I was brought to every car show all the way to Washington. It was my life growing up, and I was born and raised in one of these. So my whole goal was to own a split window bus down the road. And fortunately, Tay was the one that was able to give me a opportunity to owning one. This bus was quite a learning curve. It took me, since I owned it, it took me probably about 3 years of restoring. And that was all throughout the COVID years. So I had a fair amount of time, and there wasn't really many car shows going on at the time. So it was just focused straight on this bus. There was not a piece of this bus I did not touch. It had, the whole bottom 6 inches were pretty much rusted out. It looked very solid when we purchased it, and it was quite solid compared to most of the other ones out there. But the deeper you dive into it, you find pinholes, and it keeps growing. So the whole bottom 6 inches were fully replaced. There were floor pieces missing. The bulkhead behind your front seat, someone fully cut out. There was a second additional louvers on the side of the bus that were right behind the front seat, where a gentleman had a fridge and that was his ventilation. So someone had hacked that in. So this was actually my first real project. I had a 58 Beetle that I had bagged. That was my very first car, but this was my very first actual kick at the cat with a full resto. So it is far from perfect, but it was a very good learning curve, and has, all the little imperfections is just something that I can grow off of. I learned so much. We tried to do a little bit of customization, but kept it to a very stockish kind of vibe. So my biggest thing was I knew it was originally a mango bus, so I wanted to kind of play with those mango colors. So what I did is I actually flipped the colors and changed the tone of them slightly different. I wanted to rock the original early crow's feet Volkswagen bus wheels. I have a 4-inch narrowed bay window beam that is in it, so I'm running disc brake setup as well. It was highly modified by Tom to fit into a split window bus. He used to have one in his 23, and I was able to scoop this one off him. It is an IRS rear end out of a Super Beetle, and Wagons West makes a kit to fit the IRS system into a split window bus that clamps fully in. We are running a 1641cc dual port engine, as well with dual Delorto carbs and a vintage speed exhaust. I'm not here about horsepower. It's never been a horsepower thing for me. I'm all about just low and slow, just trying to putt along and cruise wherever I can. Tay and I take these things everywhere. We enjoy all walks of life with having, old ladies come up to us and tell us about stories of them getting, having some good times with their mans in their buses. It's honestly more about the stories and hearing other people's worlds in this Volkswagen world. How everyone's been affected by the Volkswagen world is something that I really enjoy about driving one of these. You can't be in a rush when you're driving one of these. You roll up to a gas station and someone's always coming up to you asking for photos or telling you a story about, their grandma owned one and all that. Everyone's owned one. Some of the modifications I've actually done to this bus, which are many, I had to tub the front end because I wanted to make sure it was super, super low. That was a main goal, was I wanted this thing slammed. It could be lower, but we're gonna live with it right now. It's drivable. I did some custom tubs up front, and I actually built my seat to sit inside the tubs. As I'm a very tall individual, I didn't want to be sitting too high where I couldn't actually see the roadway and just staring at the window visor. I did an L-shaped couch in the back. It's something I've always thought of as a kid growing up, how cool it would be to build something where you can have all your homies in it. And it all folds down into a bed, so that's my whole sleeping arrangement when Adriana and I go camping in it. This bus is also kind of, I wouldn't say rare, but it is a unique one where originally from factory, someone ordered this bus with original 6 pop-outs, all 6 windows or 3 windows on each side do pop out. I've also added extended latches so the windows pop out even more. Front safaris, rear safari. My favorite piece of the bus, and probably the rarest I would say, is I have original press bumpers. These are not aftermarket, and they have actually been shortened and narrowed slightly and tucked closer to the body line of the bus. A lot of people hate the idea of that they've been cut up and they're original, but you know what? I built it for myself and not anyone else. While we were actually painting this bus, Tom actually came up to me and last minute decided, hey, we should do a stripe along the whole belt line of the bus to separate the 2 colors. And it was a last minute decision, and not gonna lie, I pissed my pants a lot thinking about it when that happened, and I was so unsure. But now I look back at it and we went through with it, and to this day, it's one of my favorite parts about the bus. It's very unique, very different. It's something that I'm happy to this day to say that we've done it. I built this bus for many road trips and to make lots of memories, and I plan to keep this bus for the rest of my life until the day I die.